Very good morning to all of you, fellow colleagues from the Royal Government of Cambodia, honorable ambassadors, secretaries, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests. First of all, I thank you for your participation in today's meeting. You may have noticed that the banner does not read the launch of EV roadmap. I hope not. But rather a consultative meeting on EV charging infrastructure roadmap instead. This is because the EV roadmap that has been adopted by the Royal Government of Cambodia is to be launched a bit later, and that will cover everything from EV components to EV waste management. Our task this morning is to address a critical component in the EV roadmap, that is green electricity and how we can use this to charge EVs. Still, I feel it is necessary to give you a bit of a hint of the key components of the EV roadmap so as to give you the context within which today's discussion will be held. I have been torn, to be very honest, before making the decision to do this launch today. Because ideally, I would like to wait for the EV launch to be officially launched, the comprehensive roadmap, so that we have all the key pieces and detail for you. Of course, the RGC has adopted the roadmap. It has been initiated with the leadership of the Ministry of Economy and Finance, with the participation from Ministry of Public Works and Transport, Environment, Mines and Energy, and others. Stakeholders here, UNDP, the World Bank, and others have participated in this. But it will take some time, because the many stakeholders that will be involved in this exercise will need time to flesh out the so-called sectoral inputs. So the challenge is, if we keep holding this until we have every piece in place, we would see a challenge in a sense that EVs start to be rolled out already, as you can see. Ambassador Dominic, the UK embassy, is already using EV, for example. So I take it as a very good pressure from the members of the public to try to do something about it. We don't want to see that EV consumer will have to pay 1,600 reals for charging, slow charging. And we don't want to see that only one or two places in the entire Cambodia that have these infrastructures. So therefore, I took all the risks to launch this today with your participation. So bear with me for it. The context. We hear from the World Meteorological Organization that Asia is warming faster than a global average. And vulnerable countries are being disproportionately impacted. We have experienced soaring temperatures in Asia for the last 6 months alone, and we cannot deny that. In part, human-induced climate change is driving this. There is an urgent need, like I said, to decarbonize, and a hugely ambitious timescale has been set to deliver it. This will partly be supported by the adoption of electric vehicles and effective urban planning. You may be aware that electric vehicles first emerged in the early 1900s. This is not the first time. Sales peaked by 1910s, but were then sidelined by the advances in combustion engine technology and significant oil discoveries. A century later, the push for environmental sustainability has renewed interest in electric vehicles. In the first quarter of 2024, global EV sales increased by approximately 25% compared to last year, reaching 18% of all cars sold. A clear signal that the future of transportation is electric. In Cambodia, just like any other countries, the EV challenge goes beyond simply putting electric vehicles on the road. While transitioning to EVs is key for reducing emissions, we must also focus on building robust charging infrastructure, addressing the skill gap in our workforce, and ensuring the proper management and disposal of EV batteries and electronic wastes. Equally important is our approach to urban planning. We must design our cities not just for cars, but for people, creating spaces that are accessible and conducive to walking and cycling. In Asia, Singapore is an excellent example in this context. In this context for Cambodia, our Ministry of Construction and Urban Planning is working on many initiatives. This is about rethinking our urban environments to reduce dependence on personal vehicles, to ease congestion and improve public health. This multifaceted and interministerial challenge requires solutions that integrate transportation with smart urban development to turn our cities into models of sustainability and livability. In Cambodia, we have seen rapid economic expansion and urban growth, which has led to an increase in vehicles adoption. With motorcycles make up more than 85% of the vehicles on our road today, totaling over 5.6 million. They account for just 27% of road transport emissions. Trucks, however, are the largest emitting vehicle segment, contributing 42% emissions. Passenger cars, including pickups, account for about 16% of emissions. Beyond the initial cost of EVs, public concern include the lack of charging infrastructure, range anxiety, and doubts about whether our mechanics are even equipped to fix and maintain these vehicles. Well, these are big challenges to overcome, and the solution to each challenge are different. They all ultimately come back to one thing: policy leadership. With this in mind, I will elaborate on a strategy that Cambodia is putting in place to decarbonize the transport sector. Based on our 2021 long-term strategy for carbon neutrality, our 2050 EV targets are 70% of motorcycle and 40% of cars and urban buses to be electric. This is by 2050. 30% modal share for public transport in urban areas, 80% trucks, and inter-regional coaches, at least using compressed natural gas. Meeting these targets will require significant investment in public charging infrastructure. According to a recent World Bank report, a comprehensive network will need an estimated 750 rapid and 1,800 fast charging stations across 25 provinces in Cambodia. To accommodate the anticipated increase in electricity usage by EVs, rising 0.45% by 2030 to 2.6% by 2040, our energy strategy must focus on expanding the grid capacity. And a lot of work is being undertaken as we speak to upgrade our capacity, to generate more green energy, to make sure that we are ready to take up the challenge ahead. This will involve extending grid capacities, energy efficiency measure, and around the table here today, I thank you for not only your participation today, but also you have extended a lot of help already. The EU, UNDP, the World Bank, ADB, AFD, KfW, Germany, name it. We have a lot more stakeholders in the area of energy efficiency measure alone, for example. And implementing energy storage system to support variable renewable energy outputs. Studies have shown a positive correlation between public charging infrastructure availability and EV adoption, especially in the initial growth stages. This effectiveness decreases as the charging network expands, but still the initial support for charging infrastructure is crucial for boosting EV adoption. To streamline the rollout of EV charging infrastructure, we plan to modify existing subcontract licenses. This will allow charge point operators to expand their services to multiple locations more easily. By reducing regulatory hurdles and enhancing operational efficiency, this strategy is designed to accelerate the development of EV infrastructure across Cambodia. Home charging solutions for EVs will require rigorous safety standards and new charging systems to effectively manage the impact on electrical loads. Now, safety will be important. You have seen the scares that EV battery explode and burn. There may be some incidents of that kind, but we do not believe that that scare should hamper the innovation and the courage to adopt something that is better for humanity. So we will go all in force to make sure that safety standard will be there. New metering system will also play a role here, separating EV loads from non-EV loads and facilitating the customization of tariffs to incentivize off-peak charging. While this system presents some advantages, they also introduce additional costs and administrative complexity that we are now considering. We will continue to strengthen the promotion of EV adoption through direct purchase incentives, tax reductions, and improving access to affordable financing. Additionally, public awareness campaigns are being tailored to effectively address concern about charging EVs. Currently, our Ministry of Economy and Finance and the Ministry of Public Works and Transports are putting in place detailed strategy to address these issues. In terms of manufacturing and public-private partnerships, plans are underway to initially expand the production of simpler automotive components with a gradual progression to more complex parts and electronic assembly. Supported by a cross-ministerial action plan, this strategy is designed to integrate with our sustainable urban mobility goals, potentially increasing export by $2.1 billion and increasing 26,000 jobs in the coming years. Our first EVs, van, and trucks assembly plant is being constructed in Krebs province as we speak. I saw the company this morning, Zoe Motor, thank you. So our first EV van and trucks assembly plant is being constructed as we speak. This represents a vision for partnership, with the government taking a strategic long-term approach and drawing on private investment to ensure employment growth and meet our net zero objectives. Our strategy for electric vehicles reflects our overall economic policy, a partnership that uses market dynamics, but also relies on active government intervention to develop new markets and mitigate competitive disadvantages. Today, I call on all stakeholders, all of you, from industry leader to citizen, to donors and partners, to commit unequivocally to our strategy for decarbonization. We must embrace the shift towards electric vehicles, enhance our urban infrastructure, and reimagine our cities not just as places to live, but as vibrant communities prepared for the future. Now our team will share more details on the electric vehicle charging station development roadmap, which is the main focus of today's meeting. I look forward to the Q&A session afterwards, and I'm very keen to hear your perspectives, ideas, even criticism and suggestion as we work together to achieve our shared goals. Thank you so much.